Hello again. How can I help you?
You might be able to aid our
I
investigation.
doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
Know anything about the recent
I
hanging?
do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
He doesn't know anything.
Actually, that's all
The
I've got.
pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
There's something I'd like to
Let
say.
me have a look.
I'd like
I'm
some
not
clothes.
purchasing any more clothing at the moment.
I'll check my pockets.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
And these PBNs. Okay. Do you have anything to
Another
sell at the
time,
moment?
perhaps.
And by the way, do you happen to have any guns like the ones carried by officers of the citizen militia?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
Was the buyer a policeman
She
too?
didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her. Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
There is only one explanation. She must be one of my rabbit fans.
In that case, she'll be happy to get a visit from us, if we can find her.
Wait, I sold you my gun?
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off-the-charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
Any idea where I can find this buyer?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
At least now I know how I lost my sidearm. Let's talk about something.
Of course.
Wanted to ask about my missing.
Sure thing.
And for the review, let's talk about.
Sure, man.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Where's it coming
From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit.
Yeah, that's me. I've been establishing my superstardom hard lately.
You have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Mullen. Salam Rocky Baye, badass on-the-edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera. Lights. With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on.
Hello again. How can I help you? Hello again. How can I help you?
Is Roy high? And if yes, then what is he on?
Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mine continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Pyrrolidon. It's tough to come by on the street.
Holy then, what
A
is
drug
that?
developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
Get straight to the point. So, where does the man get Pyrrolidon these days?
How would I know?
Judgment, just curious. I probably did lots of Pyrrolidon before I lost my memory.
I've had to take it. You know, since the People's Pile cleanup. I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade.
It must have been tough, radioactive cleanup.
There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointment, and early deaths. Cancer mostly. And we knew all that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best we could.
Whose fault was it that the generator
No
failed?
one's. Everyone's.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen?
Tell me more about this emergency relief brigade you were part
We
of.
were an all-volunteer force, self-organized. Tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill.
On the patch, gamma radiation lines crossed with a red drop of blood.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick.
The People's Pile? What's
A
that?
bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you too.
The People's Pile was a Type U particle decay generator that failed immediately after entering service, releasing radioactive waste into River Esperance.
What is a particle decay
A
generator?
primitive nuclear reactor, also called a pile.
Was it called all the People's Pile?
Construction began during the Commune of Revachol. The people continued work on it after the Commune fell. They wanted a cheap source of energy for Revachol West. Needless to say, things didn't work out.
Why did it fail?
An emergency valve defect resulted in steam pressure blowing the turbine, taking the fuel containment vessel up in the explosion. Both the faulty design and lack of finances contributed to the catastrophe.
How did you end up running a pawn shop?
The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died. Left me this shack and all the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, We just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forburg as I can. Still in the same city, but...
Thank you for
I
telling me.
like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
But check your pay. Pretty holy.
You said you done it before, yeah?
The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the knickknacks on display. Looks like he doesn't want to get involved. He won't be your nog, but he won't be thrilled about this either.
I haven't, but don't worry, I can take it.
If you say so. Here you go, man.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Of course.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, Hjelmdal burning. The antlers on the hood of the man's cloak and his piercing blue eyes are familiar.
How much are you selling this t-shirt
2
for?
real.
That's dirt cheap.
Cool, I think
You should.
That's dirt cheap.
But why?
The man from Hamjar is a superstar. I'm a superstar. It would be
I
perfect.
suppose that makes sense, yes. Please go ahead and take it. Welcome to Hjelmdal.
And
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
where did you get
It
this?
was brought to me to be altered.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
Let your gaze run over the
The
street
light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently. This would make quite a statement in your living room.
How much for the street?
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
700 sounds about right. I imagine it wasn't this swing of that street
Hey,
one.
I don't know where it came from, but it's not every day you get to buy and sell something so extraordinary. $700 real. A bargain. The light has undergone 3 transformations, and every transformation, large or small, has a price tag.
What do you mean
Well,
transformation?
there are the cost of removal and rewiring. The most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
Okay, that checks out.
Is it street?
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in perfect working order.
His manner is casual, but his speech is careful, measured. He wants you to know that he has nothing to hide.
Anything else you need though, I feel like.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well loved and well traveled. Chipped, dented, They stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels.
Step, and on the tips of your toes.
One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Shopkeep, this Stereo 8 approved machine
Is
here.
the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats. 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
What I really want to know is, could this device come in handy in my police work?
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
Are you sure this is all in working order?
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though I don't really like music.
So, and
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty.
Inspector Knights and
Big men on big horses, armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
pointed the knights on horseback. Who are
Franco
they?
Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
Inspect the blue
They're not
uniform.
all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
Wait, this looks like Renner. They all had was playing Pantec.
This is what the loyalists looked like, yes, at first. Then they wised up and got camouflage.
Pointed the blue figurines. What exactly are
Which one? Ah, royalist soldiers from the time of the revolution. The uniforms are painted a bit too brightly, I suppose.
I inspect the figurines in red.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
Pointed the figurines in red. Are these human soldiers?
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yeah? Yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win.
It's meant to give people hope. Even we can do hope.
Maybe.
This
I think their poverty has been exaggerated for I don't like
this set
I think their I don't like
this
I think that maybe.
And
you see rows of toy soldiers
we got
guarding
a
the rest
truly
of the
cool
trinkets
figurine in a box
displayed
under
on
the table.
Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse. A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found.
What is this? Show it to the shopkeep.
Oh, that's the headless phone rider.
Of course.
There's been a lot of interest in that particular figurine. I had to hide it so it wouldn't fall into the wrong hands.
He doesn't elaborate on these wrong hands. It's unlikely that he ever will.
I've heard about it. I've heard the headless phone rider rides a headless Buddha.
Yes, there are several competing versions of the story, but I believe this figurine is a more canonical representation.
Look at Kim back at her. Sorry, what are we talking about
The
again?
Headless Phone Rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. As you see, he's missing his head. 50 cents. Bargain price. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations.
And but there's a sign there.
G'day to you, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
Do you know what caused this rampage? I think it's hit the smash billboard.
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Revachol. Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here. Especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then.
Do you know what's further down the coast?
Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it. Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins.
Can I have some of that salami pointed up?
Sure thing.
This way?
It is salty, it is savory, it is chewy. The hangover only makes the salami more tasty.
Want some too, officer?
It turned.
Why not?
Right, nice.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything. You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens.
Push it hard.
Nothing happens. A cold gust of wind blowing in from the sea interrupts the silence of the situation. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the waterlock to get across the canal. Some other way.
Mentiu sobre uma verdade? Como é que se mente sobre uma verdade?
Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
The lever again.
Pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens. The spring brings the lever back. Wasn't there a sign? A crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the canal. Two ugly lines mar the bright countenance of the blonde boy depicted. The sign billboard has fallen on the waterlock, keeping it open, and thus out of order.
What is the Samaran butter?
Whatever it is, the boy on the billboard seems very happy about it. Goat milk butter. The Samaran terrain makes it easier to raise goats than cows, and the local goat farmers produce high-quality meat and dairy staples that add variety to other nations' diets. It's an acquired taste. The sign billboard has fallen on the waterlock, keeping it open. Judging by the size of the impact and the parallel lines of burnt rubber, the cause was probably a motor vehicle. These look like the same tire tracks I saw earlier, in front of the whirling in rags.
Look at the broken posts.
The vehicle soared through the air, hitting the billboard and upsetting the posts. Then it continued its flight, taking the billboard with it.
Look at the opposite bank.
Still speeding, the vehicle made a loop and vanished into the fog along the coast.
Look at the crater.
Side slip marks indicated that the vehicle was traveling up the crater at 35 kilometers an hour.
Look at the roof of the shack.
The black marks on the roof indicate that the vehicle vaulted from the crater to the roof of the shack.
Look at the sign.
The sign broke the vehicle's fall into the canal. The Samaran butter billboard still looks freshly painted, suggesting it took the plunge recently. Within the past 72 hours.
Look at the sloppy metal roof panel.
The panel served as a takeoff ramp.
What was the model of this Phantom vehicle? There are two good candidates.
There are two good candidates. The Caprice 40 and the Linear G22.
What?
You'd have to follow the tracks to be sure. There are two good candidates. The Caprice 40, it's about the right size. And the tire marks look like they came from the skinny tires frequently found on that motor carriage. The Caprice 40 is a very popular model, with bank clerks, topping pie delivery drivers, secondary school teachers, cops, strippers dressed as cops, undressed strippers.
While being a G22.
Very sturdy but light motor carriage. More likely than most to survive that jump. The Linear G22 is not a particularly popular model due to its peculiar proportions, which the manufacturer's design team probably thought about for too long. You'd have to follow the tracks to be sure. The lieutenant looks on, waiting for you to wrap up your analysis.
Any theories about what happened here?
Some top shelf shenanigans. I want to meet the driver and shake his
What
hand.
kind of car do you think it was?
I believe it was a Linear G22.
That's quite likely, from what I can tell.
Yeah, I have no idea. Who could it have
We're
been?
not traffic cops. Should we get back to the murder?
You should bring this driver to justice.
If we must.
And
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like a traveler.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
keep listening.
From another planet. Hey there.
I am the
You
law.
sure are, my man.
What's going
It's
on
the jam, my man.
The air from the east is thick with the smell of crude oils, heavy metals and other byproducts of the modern era. You can almost taste it.
What's a
It's a
jam?
traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, an all-around clusterfuck. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days
He glances soft down the
upon days.
So how long have you been
Feels
there?
like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout.
Extravagantly phrased, but they can roll with it.
Imagine. It's been a whole week already.
Please take
So
this.
tell me, what do you need?
Know anything about the dead man, the one hanging behind the hostel there?
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy.
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
Busy with what?
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries and their sad, despondent chauffeurs.
Wait, what?
Nothing. I'm just messing with you, man. Don't mind my idle verbosity. He ain't one of...
It's easy to see.
Analyzing the fundamental structural and a
Yeah,
sense of
conclusion?
surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees. He ain't one...
It's easy to see.
Analyzing the Nothing. I'm just messing with you, man. Don't
Tell
mind
me
my
more
idle
about this.
verbosity. It's
Right.
like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands. No way in or out.
Going on strike would probably help you dodge a bullet or two.
Maybe I should go on
Maybe
strike.
you should. Cops don't get paid much and the hours are long. Plus, you can get shot. Why not?
The RCM is a self-managing organization that operates on donations. We promote our own leaders. It would be like striking against your own mother.
I guess you've got the point
Yes, but do continue. You were asking about the strike?
What's the union demand?
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
What do you think the company
They want
wants?
to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else?
Anything else?
Okay.
Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do.
All of you?
Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid.
His man's not
Not
to
that I
do.
blame them, really.
Not you.
Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
He glances down the road toward the horizon, a glint of something in his
He
eyes.
tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him, as if trying to conceal something warm and deep beneath a cool exterior.
What are you hauling in there?
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Relax. He's merely joking.
Okay, and what are you actually hauling?
Can't even get a few jokes past you, my man. I've got
Right.
another haul of foul cargo. Mostly sporting goods, tracksuits, and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grad in the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately.
Could I get at one of those found tracksuits you're
We're
hauling?
pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
That's your machine behind
This
you?
rockin' beauty. Sure
It
is.
puts the
Like
lorry
a
with
rash
this-
you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6?
Yeah, these lorries are very
Neat.
neat.
For carrying large quantities of cargo a long distance. These found tracksuits need to find their way to the kids way out in Wamrau and Laurent Bird somehow.
So nothing illegal then.
Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
Right, I
The
had another
man
question.
taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Don't be a stranger.
And,
Stuck in the rain in a traffic jam, man.
what do you see, Nate?
What's on your mind?
Ease into it. Don't go too far. This seems like a personal matter.
Man, you look sad. What's going on
You
with
really
you?
are the law, aren't you? I get that being bluntly observant and inquisitive comes with the territory, but it certainly doesn't help with your conversational skills, does it?
Maybe the full-on, direct approach wasn't correct. Damn, it's tricky business looking into someone's eyes and not doing it wrong.
It's all for now, right? And, both swollen human knots cut countless each one.
old monument stand. An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods.
Who is
A
this?
silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II, the opulent, father of Philip IV, the insane." As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chest piece.
What indentation?
An old monument stands in the middle of the
What did
traffic
this king
island.
do?
Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy.
In what way?
Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola.
How did he manage to blow through the entire national treasure?
Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable wealth. Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, and various chalices. He called it the Sol Aurum. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person.
Wait, really? There's no way that's true.
But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction.
Don't want to know.
Philip III's ludicrous bronze likeness looks defiantly up into the sky.
What indentation?
Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass, around where the heart is. A bullet? Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Okay, I guess as someone shot the king went to the indentation.
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your word for it.
What do you
Well,
think?
Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution. But the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice or a political statement?
None of the above. Maybe it's connected to the murder.
If we connect every bullet hole in Martinez to the murder, we'll get an overwhelming amount of loose threads. But then again, we don't really know what we are dealing with here, so I've made a note. Don't hold your breath.
The king stands high above you, surveying the bay, mute and indifferent to your sightings. The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. The photo, an ambrotype, from the turn of the century, as golden as her smile.
Snap your fingers in front of her face.
Wait,
The lieutenant stops before you can
she's
snap.
just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone.
Why?
Why? I just told you why.
If you say so.
Some kind of superstar. They say the world isn't ready for a rock and roll cop. No one wants their state monopoly on violence to be mixed with celebrity worship. They claim to know it would be dangerous for detectives to rise to the ranks of demigods and have sexual encounters with barely legal cover girls. It would be insane, they say. To all this, you say, fuck off and die, in a cool voice. You people have no idea how good these cops are gonna get. They're gonna crack 20 cases a day. In the future, cops will be like astrophysicists, or prime ministers, or prophets. And you're the first one.
And
The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph in her hands. In the background, the radio plays.
excuse me, ma'am, I'd like to ask
No
you a question.
response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Nothing to do here. A foreign car kept in good condition.
Welcome to Revachol.
Also, the routed man. Much is addressed to you, it's addressed to the
This
lieutenant.
man looks like trouble. You might not want to get into this right now. Plenty of time later.
Man, let's keep going. Jump Jack, the popular rescue. The Glossy magazine was the book of it, man. This issue was the top of the list. Pretty sick, man.
Welcome to Revachol.
This man looks like trouble. You might not want to get into this right now. Plenty of time
I
later.
know you were dressing my apartment.
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago. Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you.
You
It's
tell
men
him.
like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
What he means is, fixation on the Revacholian nation makes it harder for Revachol to actually attain self-determination.
He's right, you're undermining our best shot at real self-determination.
Oh, come on, man. I just said welcome to Revachol. It's a lorry driver thing.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
Silence. The air between them becomes tense. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Now that's a lot. We have a couple.
Whatever you say, officers.
He awaits impassively, cigarette smoldering between
He
his
smells of heavy motor oils, and his breath of high tar content cigarettes, probably Astra Whites.
What are you hauling?
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation.
What kind of cargo are you supposed to pick
Apples?
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide.
up? Apples.
Yeah, apples. I take it you had other questions? Oh, not much anymore. Apple.
Apples is
It's
exactly
like a
the
proper story
Look,
to me.
as detective, I come from a long line of lorrymen. We got ancient rights and privileges.
He loses his patience for his
Oh, I'm
family.
here to pick up a load of fucking apples, man. Just regular Koiko picked apples.
Damn, you're not gonna get more out of him on this. He's put up the wall of racism.
Yes. You said something about the rights and privileges of
Oh,
Florida.
yeah, they're a big deal. My great-grandfather was a carter, had a royal license and everything. We've tried to hold on to our privileges.
Hold on, what's a cartel?
Someone with a cart. What did you think it was? That's how deep into history our thing reaches. Before machines.
So he was a garbage.
Not at all. We are part of a guild and everything, huh? It's very ancient, very prestigious.
I have activate. So you are in a Carter's guild.
Goddamn right. They've been trying to fuck us out of our heritage in the name of profit. But when they try to replace us, they'll regret it. Trusting street thugs with their goods is going to fuck them right up the ass. Mark my words. Generations of practice ain't no laughing matter.
What was that argument all about?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races.
He spits on the ground.
Not the most popular topic nowadays, with a coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
Not sheep, ostriches. Actually, neither ostriches or sheep bury their heads in the sand. It's just a saying.
I get it. Someone has to be the unpopular.
I'm not the only one. Look, I've read books. The science of racial theory has all been proved, even if some people don't want to accept it. People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that.
Okay, what else have you thought of?
So, lately we Occidentals have experienced an unfortunate downturn when members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority. They stop competing for resources.
Okay, yeah.
This concerns you, policeman, so you better be vigilant. The damn kids are showing up good lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruder species too.
It was a
They're on
champagne
the
of the
precipice of cultural victory. It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring.
Okay, sure, whatever. I'd really rather talk about something. I think I can
Good.
get out the
If
vegetable.
we, the evening people, pull together, we can form a bulwark against these troubled times.
Can I
What
quit
are
it?
the forces that seek to undermine the well-being of our people?
Lieutenant Kitsuragi's stern expression remains unchanged, but you sense he can't be happy about this turn of events.
Not
Not actually, neither Austrian.
I'm not people who've studied this. So, lately, this concerns you, policeman, so you bet it's true. Also, you good.
Lieutenant Kitsuragis, stern
Not.
actually, neither.
I'm not people who've studied this. So, lately, this concerns you, police. It's true. Also,
Okay,
you
sure,
need to
whatever.
realize the dangers of mixing races. Good.
Lieutenant Kitsuragis, stern expression.
Sure.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Bruta.
What is my lower intestine going on?
Lower intestine. The term is metabolic and circulatory system.
Okay, but what's the hard stuff?
Fascism, Brota.
What is fascism?
Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revershol's problems?
I thought you were my secretary.
Quit stalling, Bruta. We're talking about the weakest, worst, most insane thing. The weak link.
That is the academy.
Yes, them. But also, women.
Woman.
Women. Men of war. You don't like them. They're insane. Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol. Woo men need to go back to the fucking kitchen. That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is that woo men need to know their place.
Okay, so I just made up my mind about fascism.
You're going to keep your vooz, right? Keep your vooz, Brota.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to be played by an upset stomach.
There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and disappointment.
When you said before that you were down with racism, was it meant in earnest? Or were you just trying to win his confidence?
Relax, I was practicing the time-honored technique of the snow
I
line.
suppose that's a relief. Just be careful how often you avail yourself of this technique. A lie may be useful in the short term, but I have a way of catching up with you later.
We know a lie, sire, and it didn't feel like one to us. He chooses to believe, though, for now.
And one more thing. As you've seen, these sorts of attitudes are quite common in Martinez, so I expect this to happen again and again. I've had this conversation enough times in my life. From now on, I'm going to stay out of it. How you choose to respond is your business. But be careful. Now let's move on.
It says GR.
Bastards! We have a right to work!
The man yells towards the harbor gates, whose voice is the loudest of the lot and always screechy for a man of his size. What's going on here?
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
The broad-shouldered half male turns to you. He's a full head taller than everybody else.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
He chanted
Right
again.
to work! Right to work!
Besides, we're not that different.
He leans closer.
It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
I don't think I've chosen any sides
Might
yet.
be time. Don't let the fat bastards tread on you. Cops tend to side with the higher-ups, but you're essentially still workers. I don't trust cops, but I can see you understand the
Right
Because
to
his
work!
voice and chat.
Right to work!
What kind of cause are we talking
Rights
about?
of people, rights of workers, to have gainful employment, to make a salary, and feed their families.
His manner of speaking is wooden, the tone of voice bland and uninspired, almost as if compiling replies from a set of learned phrases.
Regardless, I have some questions for
Maybe
you.
you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here.
If all
Shame on you!
We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
He puts his finger at the man sitting on a rail.
So do we, Scab.
The watching man hollers in return. What exactly is your goal
We
here?
were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
And you are unable to breach the
The main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guard's blocking the way to the access panel. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is.
Have you considered storming it? Like all
Why
of it?
don't you go arrest them instead? I'm sure they've done plenty of criminal shit. They have that look.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then we charge.
What is this?
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work for other people.
What it worked to distract us from?
Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we have the right to work!
There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. The different pieces of the attire seem ill-fitting.
Ill-fitting. What does that
His shirt is far too small and an unpleasantly tight fit, while the overalls, held up by a belt, seem to fit a man with much more corpulence.
You wearing
He
clothes?
ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated workers, raising both fists in the air. The clothes are obviously not his. Silence is the answer. There's something off here, but he won't say what.
I want to get into the harbor. I want to get into the harbor too.
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. You trying to meet their fat boss?
This is an official matter not to be discussed with outsiders.
Right to work!
It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup, open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
Let us work!
Who are all these strikebreakers?
Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If Union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were
Given a job to do!
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
Okay, I gotta guess. Where exactly are you from?
What's it to you?
I thought you looked real familiar. for a
No,
second
no.
there.
Don't think we've met before. I came to help out the people.
Already got that. I'm interested in your
We're all
background.
workers, right? Workers stick together. We came from the eminent domain in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill.
A boxer? Where? I frequent a lot of bars, maybe it's one I know.
Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell?
Not right now, but I might have been there. I don't really remember things well.
It was a long time ago. What's it to you? No. We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell? Uh-huh. What's it to you? No. We're all workers, right? Worked at Territorial.
Yeah, I think I've been there.
So what's it to you? No. We're all workers, right? Worked at
Never heard of it,
We're
anyway.
done here. I have a strike to break.
Free cheese, how idiomatic. Yeah.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Does that mean you like
You're a
me?
handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin. But dear, you're not for me. I'm too old and too married besides. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the Motley Crew. Hire her on the spot.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't know where I am or what I'm doing or anything.
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
I hope you're right. I hope it's not too
You
bad.
know where we are, right?
On Islam?
Yes, but more specifically on the coast of the city of Revachol, in the district of Martinez.
The Revachol, this disgraced capital of the world. Something
Yes,
like that.
great. See? We're getting somewhere. What else do you know about our city of splendor? Tattered as she may be.
Honestly, I don't know diddly squats about Revachol. What kind of
How
place?
would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I. I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes?
It's a bet here in my late 40s or 50s. I don't even know how old I am.
There. The year is 51, and spring has only just started. I'm sure there are better days ahead.
She looks flustered, her hands smoothing out the creases in her blanket, even as she attempts to reassure you. The lieutenant studies you, rubbing his chin. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality, thinks the lieutenant. How can it be that bad? Never mind. We're in this now.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
Our leaders are fierce warriors who traverse the plains on steeds. Evolution coward.
Oh, no. Nothing like that, dear. Revachol is a zone of control, led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own, and certainly not one who's horseback.
I don't even know what to say. I'm so disappointed.
It is quite disappointing, yes. A lot of people would like some form of representation. There's talk, but for now, the RCM is all we've got.
If there's no government, I'll come down.
Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
What is the revolution?
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago.
What does that have to do with there not being any
It
cops?
has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to explain it better. A defeat, I'm afraid. Of course, sweetie. A defeat. It has something to do with everything.
So how
I
did I
wrote
do?
you didn't do too well, dear. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality, in a word. It's very odd.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Could tell me more.
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No. I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
You seem to be in a chair.
Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height, or a grenade explosion.
Grenades? Did you fight in a war?
No, dear. I'm not quite that old. Although I was injured in the line of duty.
Were you, actual
Nothing
poker?
so extravagant, dear. Though what young girl doesn't dream of soaring over a crowd?
What did you do
I was
then?
a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail-order shoe company. You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and, well, once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding. I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well. One can only dream of such payoffs nowadays.
Thanks for clearing that up for me.
No
That's more-
problem.
How do you like to roll?
Whatever do you mean?
I want you to be my wheelchair partner in fighting crime, riding backyards of corpses, catching sequence killers.
Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
Kim, of course, I forgot I had you.
Yes, and it seems to me that you do well to stick close to him. He has the look of an upstanding officer of the law, someone you can lean on, and, sweetie, you are looking unsteady. And even if he weren't there, I don't think you'd have much use for me.
You're probably
I
right.
really would like to help out, but I don't want to slow you down. If it weren't for all the stairs and potholes in Martinez, I'd join you for sure. Whatever. Secret.
A partner who needs...
Yes, and even if he weren't there, thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down. Perhaps another time. Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
The door is... You should pick that fat, juicy cigarette butt from the tray, light it up, and smoke the living shit out of it. The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It's barely covered in steam anymore. It's your face in the mirror, adorned with the expression. Still not happening. It won't come off that easy.
And the shields are dying as well of chemicals and pine trees.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Goranci and Kubek. It must be his name. Goranci. Goranci Kubek. Sounds representative.
Whatever more spices, alcohol, and tomato hands.
A thin man. As you step, it must be his name. Goranci.
It's a
Goranci
Kubek.
Kubek.
I'm here.
Sounds
Unofficial
The
police
man
speaking.
puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air.
We got some impressive pots there.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
I don't think I need anything else. They're masculine.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
Try to push
The
on it.
door does not budge.
Wonder where we started.
It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads?
Out of duty, we may find something pertinent to the investigation.
Yes, I suppose it's worth seeing if we can get in. Just to be thorough. As a side investigation.
Yes, I mean, it's
Garth is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Touch the ground.
The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every side. Old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. 40, 50 years since this was painted, maybe. It leads to a side building, adjacent to this one. The old building next to this, half ruined. Whatever is behind it must be older. A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine. The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings, stickers, insignia. Fumes of heavy fuel oil waft over you, making your eyes sting. The odor mixes with cigarette residue.
What kind of stickers?
The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and purity are glued to various panels. A large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. The pendant features a sun crown with wavy rays. It is the seal of Royalist-era Revachol.
About the back?
The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into the curtains.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy.
You think the story belongs to what?
Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
There he is, in front of Rita, smoking nervously, hoping it's over.
Hello, compatriote.
Scab?
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
What exactly is it?
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Everybody loses.
Hold on, where did they are?
Beats me. Somewhere in the ground, I think.
You don't seem to like
Gotta be bloody stupid or freaking evil to Scab. Or I guess scared, maybe. But scared of what? Of who? Personally, I'd rather beg than Scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something.
Better. It's better than begging.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. These scabs ain't begging. They ain't holding on to their integrity.
Yeah, I'm a scab for it, and down to that. Right?
Good one, officer. Don't worry. We here have solidarity with the RCM. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money. Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the strife?
What is the strike about,
You know,
anyway?
serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
Martinez investigating a murder.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder.
I have no idea what.
That's okay. I have no idea what I'm doing either. I don't even know what day it is. Don't tell me. It's a better day that way. Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. That's okay. Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
He didn't do it. It's the truth.
I don't know what's behind this case, and it's a problem. Okay.